Welcome back. It's about 3:30. This is eNCA on DSTV channel 43. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's remind you of our headlines this hour. The Independent Electoral Commission is set to release the final results this evening, with many political parties already mulling who to partner with in a municipal coalition. In the Western Cape, the smaller parties are meeting with the IEC, this as they demand a recount, accusing the IEC of rigging numbers in favor of the DA. And the EFF says it is an open-door policy to coalitions, but they can only work with parties that are ready to serve the people, not positions, this according to party leader Julius Malema. Okay, the IEC, of course, expected to release the final results of the municipal elections after 6 o'clock tonight. And what we have witnessed so far is that most political parties will be forced to form coalitions in a number of councils. There's no party that has really done well. Our reporters are stationed at different parts of the country this hour. We have Mangoba Mkuno in Mahiken. Good afternoon, Mangoba, and good afternoon as well to Dasen and Ngobil. I'll come to you a little bit later. Mangoba, let's begin with you in the northwest, there where you are in the CBD of Mahiken. The ANC has retained power there, but the people are not too happy about the governing style. Why?
Well, certainly, Praten, and I think there are mixed reactions from some of the people here in Mahiken about the ANC retaining control again of this embattled municipality. Of course, you know that their track record, Praten, in terms of service delivery hasn't been that good here in Mahiken and in other municipalities, as we talk about 19 of 22 municipalities here in the Northwest Province are actually in financial distress, and most of them are under administration. So it's not really a good picture for the ANC and its government here in the Northwest Province. And many of the people that we have spoken to, they've been raising issues, more particularly around service delivery, the lack of service delivery here in Mahiken, the issue of potholes, the roads are unkept, and some of the buildings here are dilapidated, and also the issue of electricity, there are constant power cuts, and also water. That is one of the issues that we've heard from some of the community members. Some of them were saying that they want to see change with this local government election. But of course, the ANC now in the lead, and all indications are that the ANC will win the Northwest Province. It has already secured Mahiken with the 56.3% vote here in the capital city of this particular province. But let me find out from people, but then how they feel about this. Joining me now is this gentleman here. Baba, let me get from you, do you think that the ANC this time around is going to deliver services? Are you hopeful as residents?
By virtue of the ANC retaining the municipality, it simply tells you that the people of Mahiken still believes in the ANC. And one can say we have learned a big lesson to such an extent that it simply showed that the selection of the ward councillors was done differently this time around, and then the people who were supposed to be appointed at the municipalities, the ANC is clear on that one, that it must be people who have reputable experience and the likes. So we would say that this time around, service delivery is what is expected, and for sure, that's what we're going to get, because it simply shows by retaining the municipality that the people still do believe. It's just that there were wrong people at the wrong places at the wrong time. This time around, the ANC will deliver.
And are you, sir, ANC member yourself? I can hear that you're speaking about intimately about the party, and your expectation is that it's going to deliver.
Yes, I'm an ANC member, and from the working class also, I can tell you that we do believe that there can never be any other that will protect the working class. It is only under the umbrella of the ANC that we do believe that the rest will be delivered.
Okay, let me move on. Let me try and get a lady here. Please come here this side, my sister, just so that you can speak. Mama Wana, how do you feel? Are you happy that the ANC is coming back here in Mahiken and in the Northwest Province? Because clearly they have won this election. What's your reaction as a resident of this particular town?
I can speak Setswana, ne?
You can speak Setswana, ma.
Re voted ANC, re nagana gore last time in re se happy. Even now, ra sokola lack of water, electricity. Re ba voted yana, re ba tshepa yana. Last time go bua nnete ba ne ba sa re khotsofatsa. Re votile hela but still ha ra khotsofala. Hona no yana metsi every day ke metsi na ke dula go Signal Hill ne go di news stands ha re na metsi le last night ne re sena metsi re tla be re tswa distance go tswa fa go ya ka kwa wa go batla metsi and nothing for mahala ra patala metsi ya wa go patala 20 liter for 3 rand ne ra tsamaya no re votile yana re batla gore. So
are you hopeful that you're going to get it this time around? Is service delivered?
Okay,
thank you, ma. Pratek, just the lady explaining that of course they are quite hopeful that the ANC will deliver this time around. She says that the issue of water, of course, is one of the biggest problems here. And in fact, she stays in Signal Hill here in the Northwest. And she says that even yesterday, last night, there was no water and they have to buy water. She says, I think 20 litres of water costs about a few rand. So that's a big issue here. Let me get this lady here. How are you feeling that Sisi, the ANC is back here? Are you hopeful that things will change around here in terms of service delivery this time around?
As much as Rele Mongaka Mudiri Molema and then ANC got 100% of voters, which means their service delivery should also be 100%. Nakele Mwakwa Musiani view. Hari recognize you service delivery. Hari Nadi Apollo, Hari Fumezi, was party Rebapanele dumping site, which is next to Bopelon Provincial Hospital. When we raise our issues, we are not being recognized. So please, I plead with you, ANC, as much as we took our time, energy to vote, please recognize us. Thank you.
And you're hopeful that they're going to change things?
Yeah, I'm hopeful they're going to change things. As long as they will change the structure and corrupt leaders, let's hope they're going to change.
Okay, thank you very much for speaking to us. Oh, of course, these are some of the sentiments from the people here. Some of them quite hopeful, but then some of them a bit skeptical about what the ANC will deliver this time around or whether things are going to change around. But the ANC itself, but then promising that this time around things are definitely going to change. They're saying that they're going to ensure that they put people that are competent for the job, but whether or not this will change the future of this particular province, well, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, well, actions, as they say, speak louder than words. Nobile, let's come to you now there as well this afternoon. Let's go to Dasen before Nobile. Apologies for that. Dasen Tate, good afternoon. Whereabouts are you? And I mean, we're building up now towards the final announcement of the results this evening in Pretoria.
That's right. We just came out of the KZN IEC's briefing a short while ago, and during that, we discovered a number of things. One of them was that there was a surge in the number of independent candidates that had contested this time around, as well as the political parties. So those numbers had basically tripled. But I think the bigger story, and the one on everyone's lips, particularly in light of the results that we've been seeing, is what's happened to the ANC. So as much as they are the leading party in most of the municipalities, as well as the province, the issue is here about how much control they actually have within the province as a result of that. The IFP has had a complete resurgence, and it is just not far behind the ANC. So immediately on the back of the announcement of those results, where we found out that there were 18 hung municipalities. I mean, that's a large number considering that KZN has only 44, that's if you include the metro. So 18 of those have no clear leadership yet, and it would require coalitions. You mentioned it earlier, how important coalitions are now. The ANC has some big decisions to make, but before it gets to making those decisions, it says that it has to introspect. So what we've been hearing over the past few days is that it has been accepting blame. It says that this is a message from its voters, that this is their form of protest, and it admits, or rather it believes, that those voters have not turned their back on the ANC. They're just trying to get them to be better. I did ask the question of why has it taken so long to get here, and I was told that the process of renewal takes a very long time. Now for the party, they're hoping that it's not longer than just a few years because they have the national elections to deal with. So what are the implications? Let's find out what the chairperson of the ANC had to say to us. We had a word with Sihle Zikalala earlier today.
You see, the immediate implication of losing, of having less support in a bigger area like eThekwini is that it forces us to a deep reflection about the future of the ANC as a governing party in KwaZulu-Natal. Because we will be going to elections in 2024, and I know, and many of, I'm sure all of us in the ANC leadership would be very convinced that by the time we get to 2024, the situation that we've gone through this period would have been resolved. So the immediate implication that is of concern to us is that it creates an impression and it sets the scene towards 2024 that the ANC, if it doesn't attend to many of the challenges that we've identified, would not be able to come back as a governing party in the province of KwaZulu. That's the implication of losing the biggest part of your province. But if you look at the results themselves, we have not entirely lost the metro, but we have lost the ability to be the governing party with 50% plus one. But we remain a leading party both in the metro and in the province. So, but there are implications if we do not arrest the current decline going to the future, that the ANC may find itself into a very, very difficult position.
Now, Justin, they have to find coalition partners. The ANC now is going to have to look around for possible partners. I wonder what they're saying about that.
Definitely, and once again the focus is eThekwini because you can see that the party is dejected. I mean, even in that press conference which we were at earlier, you could see that the mood was different. There was also a touch of humility that came out of that press conference where the ANC was acknowledging what had happened, and during that they admitted that the implications for not having an outright majority in this metro are great. So it does mean that the conversations around coalitions need to happen, but they were tight-lipped on exactly who those conversations would be with and exactly what would come out of it. The danger here is that if all of the other parties that are in the metro decided to form a coalition of their own, it would completely oust the ANC. So that's the predicament that they find themselves in. And they also disputed the reports that Jeff Hadebe was coming to KZN to deal with this issue of coalitions. They said that that's not the case. He has been tasked with overseeing such a process nationally and not specifically coming to intervene in the province. Braden, we might have a bite on this. Let's listen in to what came out of that press briefing.
There was a headline going on yesterday, which was a headline that is essentially a distortion of what is taking place internally in the ANC. That headline was saying that the national leadership of the ANC has mandated Comrade Jeff Hadebe to drive down from Gauteng to Durban so that he can help us to finalize coalitions in the province. That's not true. Comrade Jeff is a leader of a team at the national level which has been assigned a responsibility to look at what permutations should the ANC consider in case it must engage on coalitions. It's not a case at an issue. It's a task that he has been assigned to lead at the national level. As a province, we ourselves are identifying, we will be identifying which parties that are aligned to a larger extent, that are close to our own vision about what we want to do, which I've explained briefly in the statement that we have an agenda that we're pursuing as the African National Congress, and certainly we would not be random in choosing a partner to work with us. We're going to have to choose partners or approach organizations on the basis of our understanding that they are also not very far from the strategic goals that we want to pursue and achieve as the ANC in the province.
We stay in KZN, and that was Mtumiseni Ntuluze. He's the provincial secretary of the ANC. Let's go to Msunduzi. Nobile Madlala, the ANC, they're losing support in Pietermaritzburg.
Not famous at all, Bradan. I must say, people in Cobbsville really feeling like they're at a point where they are tired of expressing themselves. It's been a while. You remember we first came here when we spoke to the independent candidate that the people had decided, or we were told at the time that the people had decided that that's the person that needs to represent them. But they had already highlighted that there was a candidate that was imposed on them, and that's what they had told us by the ANC. Now, you would remember that list issue where the ANC said they were going to take care of such issues after elections, immediately after the municipal elections. Now, Cobbsville finds themselves in a debacle where now they need to address that issue, but unfortunately it's not as easy. In fact, they are saying that they have found boxes of their ballot papers and they don't know where they come from. So I bring you in here. Perhaps explain to us what is it that is angering the community at this point?
Umphakathi wakithi baka-29 sifice ama-ballot paper izolo ehholo esikhungweni sokuvotela la ngaphakathi ewadini, and indawo eziwu-2 seKhobzile secondary nala e-community ehholo leli la elikhulu sifice khona ey'khungweni zokuvotela. Sifica amakhabhothi okuvotela la sivota kona e-4 evuliwe, okusho kona ukuthi u-ANC u-IEC uwazile ukuthi udlale ngathi siwumphakathi sisazi ukuthi siyovota uhlangene nawo amaphoyisa, ngoba sazi ukuthi amaphoyisa ala eMountain Rise kufanele kube yiwona azogada ukuthi ama-ballot paper engaphuncwa wona angavula amakhabhothi. But kodwa mase sithola amakhabhothi esevule kusho ukuthi amaphoyisa shothi ahlangene no-IEC ukuthi benze ukungcola and okungasiphathi kahle siwumphakathi sidine siganoni wabo.
Ikuphi lokungcola babokhuluma ngakho, yini into eyinkinga?
Obakwenzile amaphoyisa okwenzile sithole ukuthi mesifika ngaphakathi esikhungeni sifica amakhabhothi asevulekile singazi ukuthi amakhabhothi avulwe yini, and amaphoyisa asuke egadile phambi komnyango. But kodwa amaphoyisa emegadile phambi komnyango egade ukuthi amakhabhothi engathintwa engavulwa ngoba wona asuke esigadile. But kodwa amaphoyisa mezofica sekuvulelekile esebevula phambi kwamaphoyisa kusho ukuthi asinayo umuntu ozokwazi ukusiprotect. Siyacela ukuthi
Nike nakhuluma kodwa nabantu bake-IEC.
Yes, ke sakhuluma naye umphathi lawa IEC wathi yena umphathi wa IEC yena okwakhe ebengazi, yena wathatha amaphepha wafaka emontweni wakhipha ekhabhothini ngesimo sokuthi imoto ehamba ngayo incane. Mesimtshela sithi kuwenze kanjani lokho ngoba phela kunabantu abamayi lento le abakwazi ukuthi kubona abahlala ngaphakathi esikhungweni kuyibona ababala nawo ama-party agent. But kodwa bakwenza ukukhabanisa ekhona ama-party agent shothi besephumile benza ukungcola sephumile ama-party agent.
Alright, okay, umphakathi ufunani? Just ngicela usheshise manqamnqam uthi nje ukushaze bezikheni, umphakathi ufunani?
Umphakathi ufuna ukuthi kudilike uRamaphosa phezulu nesihle sikalala ezolungisa le ndawo yala eKhobzile ewa-29 and unokulidwa ikhansela elihamba amacala enkantolo. Asikwazi ukuthi singaphinda umengameli Ramaphosa ayikhuluma le ndaba le yokuhamba ngabantu amacala, but bephinde bebuye bezostenda leyo phakathi ewadini.
Well, shortly, Bradan, the gentleman just explaining to us that they found out that the boxes that had their ballot papers was open, and essentially they don't know what happened to their votes, and they want the President Ramaphosa, as well as Galala, who's the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, to come and address the community in terms of what should happen with regards to this. They say they are tired of being led by Sipa. This is the gentleman that is leading them. They're saying that they're tired of being led by candidates that are currently going through courts and being seen as people that have done something wrong in the community, and they feel that what has happened already has taken away their rights, and as a result they feel like their vote has not been counted in a sense.
Thank you very much. Ngobile Madlala in Cobesville there, in Pietermaritzburg, Msunduz, and also to Dasen Tatia in Durban, who also heard from Mangoba Mchunu in Mahiken, giving us the temperature on the ground, the sentiment on the ground as we prepare for that final results announcement this evening. Thank you.